Yeah, hi there. These comments are for H. I'm just using your initials for privacy purposes, and you completed, it looks like, my pronunciation post-test in my online TOEFL course. So let's go ahead and download what you sent me, and I will listen to it now. Alright, here we go.
When two people are talking to each other, they tend to stand a specific distance apart. Each person has an invisible boundary around his or her body into which other people may not come. If someone perceives this boundary, she or he will feel uncomfortable and to move away and increase the distance between them. The usual exception is family members and the other loved ones.
Again, you got to work on that intonation. You're speaking in more of a monotone, but that's not English. English has more highs and lows. So if I read the paragraph, I would say, when two people are talking to each other, they tend to stand a specific distance apart. Each person has an invisible boundary around his or her body into which other people may not come. So you don't want to put equal stress on all words in the sentence.
This personal distance is not due body odor or bad blood, but because closeness leads a sense of intimacy that is at odds with the relationship to the other individual.
Exactly there. Now you want to say personal. Pronounce that with a little bit more air. Personal distance.
Interestingly, the average personal distance varies from culture to culture. Americans tend to require more personal space than in other cultures. Therefore, if you try to get too close to an American during your conversation, he or she will feel that you are in his face and will try to back away. Try to be aware of this. So if the person to whom you are speaking backs away a little, don't try to close the gap. Also, try to avoid physical contact while you are speaking, since this may also lead to discomfort. Teaching is a bit too intimate for casual acquaintances, so don't put your arm around.
I want to say casual acquaintances. So when you put that ES on the end, you have to create a new syllable.
His other shoulder. Don't touch his or her face or hold his or her hand. Shaking hands when you initially meet or part acceptable, but this is only momentary. Part B. The answer to best question. My best friend is my mother. She is important to me because she always takes care of me. For example, when I need to talk about anything in my personal life, I prefer to talk with my mom. Because she listens to me without having control over my character, and she doesn't tell anyone about what we discussed. Also, she gives me some helpful tips that will help me in my life. The answer to second question.
Alright, so far, kind of the same things going on. So you have to work more on your intonation, also thought groups and blending. These are two specific areas in the pronunciation area of my course that you can review in order to continue to improve your pronunciation and speaking of American English.
After I see myself as a reliable person who will be working as a teacher at the university. I have a plan for myself in order to achieve my dream. I am currently studying the language program in California State University.
And part of the difficulty here too is your recording is just not very loud. I mean, you can hear the volume of your voice in the recording I'm making right now, and it's just not loud enough. So when you're speaking into microphones, you want to maybe hold the phone closer, the microphone closer to your mouth, and make sure you speak very clearly and loudly so it's easy to understand what you're saying.
And after I finish, I will take the master program in the public administration at same university. When I accomplish my program and to get the degree successfully, I will go back to my country, Saudi Arabia, to work as a teacher at the university. I will teach students about organization and development administrative system in governmental departments.
Okay, so you're speaking pretty quickly, which is good. You're giving a lot of details in there to help support your generalizations. You're also using fairly good control, both your grammar and your vocabulary.
The answer to the last question.
Okay, what's your favorite season of the year?
Is winter in California.
Okay.
Because I am from Saudi Arabia, which is a warm country, I prefer a little cold without snow. It fits my body and my health. In the winter, I like to see landscapes as snow over the mountains and fog. Also, I can do some activities such as walking long hours of daylight time.
Okay.
Thank you for listening. Hiya.
All right, and thank you for completing the post-test. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the intelligibility scale that I use to grade these. So I think overall, you definitely can speak English. There's no doubt in my mind, right? So based on this, you have fairly good control there. But the two areas I recommended, intonation, which is pronunciation lessons 36 through 40, also thought groups and blending, which is lessons 41 through 44. I think you can improve in both of those areas that would make it easier to understand what you're saying. On the intelligibility post-test, I'm going to give you around a 3.8 out of 7, and for the purposes of our class, let's take a look at the rubrics here. So 3.8 is going to put you at about 92% on this particular assignment. All right, anyway, thank you for completing the post-test.